Welcome back, explorers! Patch Quest is my upcoming roguelike game where you explore a jungle island and you tame and ride the monsters that live there. Last month, I finally completed Dev Phase 2, where I was transforming the island into a procedurally generated maze. And this month, I started work on Dev Phase 3, where I'm fleshing out the island's content, adding new zones and new monsters. In fact, I've actually added 4 brand new areas this month. You can see them right there on the minimap, indicated by the different colours. This island is regenerated every time you finish a run, so these habitats won't always spawn in exactly the same places. They each have a unique set of loot you can capture, and some of these loot types have abilities that affect combat. Let's check them out. The honey hive habitat is filled with flowers and filled with honeybees. These sweet shakers release one bee when rustled. And these hivelets sometimes release a whole swarm of them. As always, if you touch these yourself, you'll release an allied attack, which is shown in blue. Bees can deal the itchy ailment, which gives you a chance of sneezing every so often. It's not the most dangerous element, but it can sometimes trigger at just the wrong moment. Some rooms are filled with these honeycomb towers. They can absorb a few hits, but afterwards they'll burst open and send sticky honey flying everywhere. I've also changed how the sticky ailment works. It used to just lower your movement speed, but now it makes you temporarily stick to any solid obstacle you touch. Finally, these aromazalias can grant you a new buff added this month, Scented. While scented, you'll spawn bees of your own that home in on your foes. To top everything off, the ground is covered in rivers of honey. This honey terrain slows you way down, and it will eventually make you sticky as well. Next up is the swamp. The water in this area is highly toxic and can inflict the poisoned ailment, which drains your health over time. Fortunately, these bubble bulbs can inflate a bubble around you. This stops the next hit you take, and it also lets you float right over the bog water. They're a powerful tool in the rooms where they spawn. Look out for venocaps. These toxic toadstools release clouds of poisonous gas that make the nearby area uncrossable. Unless you trigger them yourself, of course. And you definitely don't want to wander into a Venus foot trap. They can take a chunk out of your health in no time flat, so try to let your foes wander into them instead. For the graphics, I tried to make this area look like it's gently glowing, as if the wildlife is warning you to stay far away from it. I think it turned out pretty well. Now, let's move on to the Volcano. This habitat is filled with lava geysers that erupt in fire, and chimneys that fill the room with smoke. You definitely want to watch out for these bomb boulders as well. They're highly volatile and can explode from just a single hit. This has a tendency to trigger chain reactions. You'll probably want to clear them out quickly so that you don't get caught in the thick of it. And perhaps most dangerous of all is the lava. This terrain will rapidly burn you and then rapidly drain your health. Often in Patch Quest you can run through a short stretch of terrain without getting hurt by it, but when it comes to lava, that's a risky game. This habitat is probably the most dangerous out of everything added this month, but it's not all bad news. These K-Energizers are so spicy they'll grant you the speedy buff, letting you enter into bullet time for a few moments. This makes it easy to slip between even the slimmest gaps. Last but not least, we're heading to the Crystal Zone. This habitat has a bunch of different crystal types that can influence how you'll want to play out that room. Britolite spawned in huge clusters, shielding both you and your foes from damage. You'll want to tactically destroy some of them to let you shoot out without getting shot back. Mirroline can bounce any shots that reach it. In a room filled with monsters, this can get pretty hairy. Magnetite starts out inert, but after getting shot it charges up and creates a powerful magnetic field. All shots will then orbit around the crystal, regardless of who fired them. And finally we have Plutonite, the most dangerous of all the crystals. This big boy can take a lot of punishment, but after a while it'll start to fission and then explode all over the screen. You can actually use this to your advantage if you have a source of cover. So that about covers the new zones, although I'm sure you'll have noticed by now that new zones means new monsters, and I've actually added 8 of them this month. Bumblebears love to eat honey, and their crafty disguise helps them sneak into hives. Their deodorize skill also grants them the scented buff, enlisting bees to fight on their side. And they can even shoot out blobs of honey that split into yet more bees. When you see a bumblebear, you better beware. Tatoads have bright warning marks to let you know that they ain't good to eat. It also lets them show off to the other toads. Their poison dart skill can shoot a toxic cloud from a long distance. And they're experts at leaping right over your shots. Bombats look soft and cuddly, but they're known for having a short fuse. Their detonate skill can cover the nearby area with flames, and their sonar skill lets them confuse prey even from around a corner. Molems scurry around in the mineral-rich earth, which allows them to grow a formidable set of crystals on their backs. This lets them curl up and reflect back any incoming shots. Their icicle skill fires out a flurry of freezing ice, and they can even do this from behind the safety of their crystal walls. Shimmerwings are fidgety creatures, always hopping from one source of nectar to the next. They can shed their glittery scales to cover the ground with shock-dealing shots. Tread carefully if you need to pass between these. Amplitudes normally like to hide in the muck, but once angered they can be shockingly dangerous. Their tunnel skill also makes them great at escaping from a tight pinch. Lunons spend most of their time basking in the moonlight to keep their body temperature low. This lets them unleash freezing cold attacks even in the hottest climates. They can also unleash a powerful roar that pushes back and even stuns their foes. Nobody likes to mess with a Lunon. And last we have the unassuming Cragnet. They may look like an ordinary crab, but their orange shells are actually laced with iron, and this lets them generate a powerful magnetic field that repels most kinds of danger. Their Heat Seeker skill can also home in on the target, making them great at fighting from long range. So that about covers all of the new mounts. Let me know in the comment section which one is your favourite. Personally, I like Bumblebear, but that's just me. I also went back and buffed some of the older monsters. Poi slugs can now slide around on the floor, making them a lot more evasive, and Rolladillo will now charge around with reckless abandon. Styral is similar, except they spin around like a wheel to make the best use of their stumpy legs. And Velostrich is now even faster than it used to be. I've also added some new landmarks to the map, like this tree that gives you a big heal, or this one that boosts your ammo supplies. And if you can reach the centre of a habitat, there will always be a power-up waiting for you. So I don't have time to cover every detail about the new habitats in this video, but you can now try them out for yourself because I've already deployed all of this month's changes to the public demo of the game. Just open Patch Quest to get the changes. That means all 4 new habitats and all 8 new mounts. If you don't have the game yet, you can download it for free from the official site. There's a link in the description. I'm planning to move onto Steam in the coming months, but for now, this is how you can access the free demo. So the plan for this month was very ambitious, but in the end I managed to get most of it done. It helped that October had 5 work weeks instead of the usual 4. In November, I'm planning to add another 4 habitats. If you include the base habitats, that will bring the total up to 12, which I think is a good number for now. Then in December, I'm going to start work on adding dungeons to the game, to provide some extra challenge and some longer term goals. I'll be releasing another devlog episode at the end of the month, as always, so remember to subscribe and ring the bell. And if you want to stay up to date with daily changes, you can follow PatchQuest on Twitter. I've been pretty active there recently. And of course, you can also come visit the PatchQuest Discord server, where I run a daily devlog of all the changes I'm making to the game. Everybody is welcome. I'd also really like to know which habitat is your favourite. It'll help me out with making next month's habitats, so let me know in the comments below. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.